When I first pitched this idea to Billy, it was a few days after Christmas at my company's Christmas party. I had been drinking a bit, and I just shot the idea to him. Hey, what if we talked about authoritarianism in science fiction and science fiction stories? And Billy was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. We both thought it was going to be very topical at the time. We didn't realize just how topical it would become. At the time of recording of July 3rd, 2025, Project 2025 has accomplished about half of its goals. The One Big Beautiful Bill looks like it is about to be passed through Congress and signed by the president. A large holding facility for migrants has been built in Florida that they are calling Alligator Alcatraz. And so much other crazy shit has happened in such little time that in my drive here, I was honestly kind of worried if I was going to miss something big because I was away from my phone for an hour. I point all of this out just to say, do what you can while you can and stay safe out there. It's going to get a lot crazier. And with that, let's get on with the show. Billy,
Yes,
how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, Landon?
I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. That intro makes it sound bad, but honestly, today, the past 24 hours, could have been a lot worse for me.
I still do believe that after this term, it'll immediately get better. I'm not one of the doomsayers yet that are saying like this was like the last election that the country will have. I'm not there yet.
How far would you say you are, though?
Well,
If that's too dark of a question this early on,
it's
feel
a
free to
pretty
just
dark
tell me.
question. I mean, it's incredibly difficult to amend the Constitution. So once those talks start, that's when I'll worry about that part.
All right, fair enough. But moving on from the horrors of the daily life, let's move on to the horrors of fictional universes. I decided to start off by just quickly pointing out what the characteristics of fascism are. Just as a way that as we go through, we'll kind of point out, hey, this relates to this in fascism, this relates to this in fascism. Sound like a good plan?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So, according to good old Wikipedia.org, the characteristics of fascism are 1. A dictatorial leader, somebody who is very much in charge of everything and everyone, at the very top of all of it. Number 2. Centralized autocracy. All the power is centralized onto this person. 3. Militarism. Pretty straightforward. High focus on the military. 4. Forcible suppression of opposition. Anybody who dissents, either peacefully or not peacefully, they get suppressed. Pretty straightforward, that one. 5. Belief in a natural social hierarchy. It's only natural and normal for certain people to be above others, and for other people to be lower than others, or perhaps even being so low, it is better that they do not exist at all. 6. Subordination of the individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. Essentially, you are meant to put your personal wants and needs below the needs and wants of the state or your race or what have you. 7. Strong regimentation of society and the economy. There are certain ways things are supposed to run, there are certain ways that businesses are supposed to function, and there are certain ways that you are supposed to live. And you cannot sway from these things. These are the 7 defining characteristics of fascism in the real world. And as we go over the stories, we will point out how each and every one of these points are presented in the fiction we discuss.
Well, where would you like to start then?
All right. I guess we can talk about the works we decided to look at. Billy, did you look at anything that's not currently on my list?
Like the works themselves or the points that you just brought up?
The works themselves.
Once you brought that topic up so long ago, I did go back through 1984 and Brave New World and Animal Farm. Those are typically I would say the big three when people talk about like authoritarianism and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so much as Animal Farm, because it's been the way Animal Farm is written. It could be like it's been banned because Animal Farm has been considered anti-communism and pro-communism, anti-capitalist, pro-capitalist.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on how you read it, and I could see how you could think how it goes either way, because there definitely becomes like a ruling oligarchy of like the pigs become the masters of like the ruling class.
Yeah, I'll definitely say, as a student in an American high school, when I read it,
Yeah,
it was definitely seen as a critique of communism.
yeah, but it's also been banned for being pro-communist,
Oh, yeah.
because the way like the pigs become the ruling class, it seemed like you could just switch a few scenes around and it would be like a ruling oligarchy in a capitalist society.
Yeah, it kind of just all based on reader's perception.
Yeah, and also it kind of goes to the thing where oh, what's everyone saying now? Accusation is admission.
Yeah,
To
every
where
accusation is an admission.
Yeah, to where if you're accusing of this of showing communism in a negative light and you're a communist leader, you should probably also do some inner reflection and see what's going on.
Yeah,
Or the
like,
same thing with capitalism.
why do you think this looks like communism or capitalism? Your system of economy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that 1984, everyone always likes talking about that, like Big Brother is watching you, stuff like that. I kind of find it a bit of a boring book, to be honest, but it does have some points about that, or at least definitely one that I like to bring up is how does the book refer to it? Doublespeak?
Yeah.
To where there's a scene in the book where the guy is watching the news and in mid sentence, essentially, the news anchor switches the enemy of the state from Oceania to East Asia, which is the third country in that world,
Hmm.
which is like Southeast Asia mostly, just because that's who they're fighting at the moment. I guess it switched. They use like the tool of having a common enemy to unite everyone against that force, which happens in reality a lot and in fiction a lot too, but it's mostly portrayed as a positive thing in fiction. Like in the movie Independence Day, the whole world united to fight the aliens. And that speech by the president, Bill Pullman, he said July 4th is now going to be Earth's Independence Day, not just America's. So what else? Oh, another interesting thing about 1984 is so the televisions that are constantly blasting propaganda can't be turned off or muted. They can only be turned down, which I've also read something about that happens in real life in North Korea. But even as far as North Korea goes, that seems a little silly. Especially since I already knew that was a thing in that book. So I was like, I think that might just be someone making something up.
Maybe.
Because you would also have to have like electricity for that to even be effective. A lot of people don't have electricity in North Korea.
Okay, well, that's a bit fair. I was going to say, we have seen plenty of people try to make awful stuff from science fiction when it's portrayed in a negative light in science fiction.
I agree, but what would be a specific example of that?
Remaking of... I know this is something that used to exist, but remaking of company towns was always something that was like shown as bad things in like the science fiction future.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to bring that back despite how disliked it was in the
God.
past and how lambasted it has been in fiction.
Yeah, I didn't know that was trying to be a thing again in reality.
I'll give you 3 good guesses who's trying to bring it back.
Would Amazon be one of them?
You know what? Maybe. They might also be working on this. I'm not too sure. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, but Musk is trying to make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. He's saying it's a way for his workers to be closer to the SpaceX facilities, where he also tends to have total control over it.
Oh, yeah, that sounds not good, because then the step after that is being paid in Musk money
Mm-hmm.
that can only be spent in Musk stores that are on the property. And I bet inflation for those things would be high as hell.
Probably.
Oh, that's awful. God, I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah, that's just because they never work like the company towns.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
There's a reason why they're not around anymore.
yeah, because they usually have just ended in riots from the workers, and it has been very violent in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Also in 1984, that's where like things like the ministries of re-education, stuff like that. I guess that's where that trope started. To where I can only imagine them as like just torture facilities, right?
Pretty much.
Reality. Brave New World is one that is not as popular as 1984, but I've thought for a very long time that Brave New World is more apt to apply to reality. So the government has nothing like they supply endless forms of entertainment from like boxes that create music, movies, songs, so no actual people are involved in it, which sounds a lot like AI doing stuff
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, and also through drugs. They're not like crazy, trippy psychedelics or anything. It's like when you have a racehorse and it's got a little bit of a limp to its gait, so you just give it enough, take the edge off so it can run that, I guess, quarter mile really fast and not be affected by the pain that it's in. And those are regularly supplied to people.
Oh, you mean like in Amazon warehouses where they supply free ibuprofen and Tylenol so that they can get through their shifts?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I didn't know they did that.
It's the off-brand stuff. They make them pay for the actual branded stuff.
Oh, God. I mean, that's okay. A lot of the off-brand, over-the-counter stuff, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's just, and I guess, well, no, I don't want to seem like I'm siding with Amazon. They shouldn't have to do that. Although it is a very heavily implied in the book that it still gives you like an actual high.
Mm.
You just take like an oxycodone or something, get through your day because the day is awful. What were some of the things that you wanted to?
Oh, I picked out 3 different works. I picked out The Machine Stops by E.M. Forster.
Okay.
It's a short story from 1909. I picked out Fallout, specifically the Brotherhood of Steel faction from the Fallout franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I steered a little more away from the show because in the grand history of things, it's kind of a smaller aspect of the entire franchise, and it's kind of takes things in just a little bit of direction than everything else, but, they do something new with the Brotherhood of Steel every game, so,
Yeah.
And I chose Starship Troopers, the book, not the movie.
I'm more familiar with the movie, but that's okay. Tell me about The Machine Stops here, or what? The Machine Stops.
Yep, just The Machine
I
Stops.
don't think I've ever heard of that.
The machine stops. In the far future, humanity lives in a great underground civilization. They have all their needs cared for, kind of similar to Brave New World,
Mm-hmm.
and they're cared entirely by an entity known as the Machine. Humanity had to move underground because of hazard conditions on the planet's surface, and the very air up there hurts to breathe.
Mm.
People live in isolation. Basically, they have their own little cells that they all live in, but they do still communicate with each other, just over video calls, standard phone calls, the written word. They still communicate, but never in person.
So is it like an individual in a cell
Pretty much,
just
yeah.
one person to a cell?
Just one person to a cell.
And there's no like common area or anything?
Nope.
Oh, that sounds needlessly awful. They couldn't have built like a basketball court or anything.
Nothing of the sort. In fact, throughout the story, the few times people are around each other, they are incredibly uncomfortable. They do not want to be near each other.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have become accustomed to being completely isolated and only seeing each other through screens.
Well, that's a whole new problem.
Mm-hmm. We follow one person throughout the story named Vashti, who enjoys this life. She is happy with it, but one day her son Kuno, who lives on the exact opposite side of the planet, invites her over to visit him. She is very reluctant, but eventually she does go to visit him. She takes an airship, and she is horrified to be near other people. She is horrified to be with the person working the airship because they see them as lesser for actually doing something like that. And they are horrified that they almost got exposed to the sun.
Well, that's not good either. It's not good to be afraid of the sun as a healthy individual.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the airship idea. I'm a big fan of airships.
Oh, yeah, love airships. But it's designed to completely block out all sunlight and just fly completely autonomously. So you don't even get to see the outside surface much.
Oh, so there's not like windows or anything, so you can't even...
I think they do look out the windows at night. They do look out a little bit, but
Okay.
not much to see in near darkness.
No, I guess not. I guess it would be really dark if everyone lives underground.
Mm-hmm. And plus, a decent portion of the surface is uninhabitable by humans, so I can't imagine it looked too nice. It has been a month since I've read this, so I might be missing some details here or there.
Oh, that's fine.
But
It's been a year since I read Animal Farm. Or reread it.
Once Vashti arrives, Kuno tells her how he made it to the surface. How he was trapped up there briefly because he lost the respirator that you need to have up there in order to survive. And how the mending apparatus, the thing that repairs all the other facilities in their grand underground civilization, came up and rescued him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was essentially found like a little pocket of air that was like an exhaust vent from their whole underground facilities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had ended up sneaking up there, so that's one of the reasons why he got stuck. But he mentioned how, as the apparatus had come up to take him back, he didn't know what was going on at first because it's just a mess of wires and grabbers and stuff. And he started screaming for help, and somebody popped up to save him. Somebody popped up to check what was going on, and the amending apparatus killed them as soon as they saw them. And Kuno says this is how he knows that humanity can return to the surface, can eventually live up there again. Maybe not right now, because the people who are still up there have clearly adapted to living up there.
That makes me think of Wall-E almost.
Yeah, kind of.
To where that the captain of that one ship, the spaceship, realizes that, like, well, like, we do have to go back to the planet Earth.
Yeah.
To like it may still suck, but we have to fix it.
Mm-hmm. It can be fixed now.
Yeah.
But yeah, before this event, well, after Vashti hears this whole story, she is just fearful of everything he has just told her, and she leaves immediately. Before this event, you were allowed to visit the surface, but it was heavily monitored, and you couldn't just go out on your own. You had to go to specific areas and be watched.
Okay.
After this, over the next few years, two big things happened. First, that became completely illegal. Nobody was allowed on the surface ever at all. Secondly, a new religion popped up called machinism. It's the worship of the machine as a deity. And as society slowly shifts, people just become more and more used to machinism and how is the new state religion and everything. But over time, things begin to fall apart. I believe it started with just like the audio equipment messing up so people couldn't hear music or couldn't like talk to each other as easily. Then like food started coming up and like
So they lost their distractions.
Yes, and the thing
and necessities, food.
Well, I don't think the food was like bad. It came out like a little burnt or something. It wasn't like there was no food. It was like the machine that handles all that was messing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like how burnt? Does it say?
I don't remember if it was burnt or it was something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then I believe, yes, the final straw for when people finally rose up was whenever the beds stopped, like coming out of the walls.
Oh, so they had Murphy beds?
Yeah, well, everything in their little cells just moves and shifts. So, like, it's time for a bath, everything moves out of the room, and a bathtub appears in the middle. It's time to sleep, everything
God.
moves out of the room, a bed appears.
I mean, I guess that would create work for whoever has to maintain all that, but that seems very overly engineered.
It's 1909 science fiction.
Yeah, I guess they would think that people would want that back in the day. Much how, like, everyone thought, like, I guess they were, like, touchscreens were the future in, like, the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when they were not nearly as good now. Like, LCD touchscreens are terrible. Or they were terrible. That's
And
why I
now,
thought the first iPhone was just going to absolutely fail.
and look at us now,
I
almost two
know,
decades
boy,
later.
how wrong was I about that? Now every phone is just an iPhone.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but that was before touchscreen. Before that was they were terrible.
Yeah. They were slow. You really had to put pressure on them. I remember seeing some of those early ones.
It would like distort the colors on the screen.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, people rose up for a little bit, but then they were quickly like sedated with just being like, "Hey, have faith in the machine. We all need to do our part to just live without a little, live with a little less now, and things will get better."
Well, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. And then society completely fell apart. The machine just stopped working, and everything just stopped working.
So
Lights went out, the apparatus stopped functioning, airships started crashing into the cities.
no, no, that's what it was like, just like a real Hindenburg situation.
Pretty much.
So,
And
I mean, is there like at least a cast of people that realize like these machines aren't God and like we need like a mechanic or something, or like,
possibly.
machines typically need like lubricant,
We
oil.
we actually never learned about any of that. This
Oh,
is
really?
all from Vashti's point of view. She
Oh,
is
okay.
somebody who is just a go along to get along type of person. This is like in polite society, you don't question these sorts of things, you don't cause a ruckus type of person. And she ends up dying at the end of the story with Kuno.
Hmm.
She's there, and she realized as she's dying, she realized, oh, we were all mistaken. This was all wrong. And then Kuno is like, well, at least we could take solace in that, like, people in the future will know. And she's like, are you sure? And he was like, yes. Look at us around us. No one will ever start the machine again. Which is a very hopeful tone for something like this. Arguably a bit too optimistic, but
Oh, yeah, you could look at it optimistically. When you just said that, I kind of was thinking of, he was just like, no one knows how to start it again.
oh,
Since if if there's no evidence in the story where like people know how the machine works, it just does work because it's God or whatever. So it almost feels like admittance of defeat. Like it's like, well, like no one knows how to turn the machine back on, so
no,
we're just gonna have to make it work.
that's not quite the right wording. I'm forgetting how the wording was. I have it written down in my notebook, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Here's the final words of the story. Oh, tomorrow. Some fool will start the machine again tomorrow, says Vashti. Never, said Kuno. Never. Humanity has learnt its lesson.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that's more hopeful than what I was taking from it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I thought I had that written in a notebook, not in my Word document.
Have you ever read "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream"?
Yes.
So it's not like I've only ever read it. I don't is the computer robot thing the bad guy in that story. AM, is it pronounced just AM or is it am?
I've
or
always heard it as am when people talk about it.
am. So like I would argue it's like, well, that thing is essentially a god
Yeah.
because it seems to have some sort of reality changing ability.
It made all the people immortal enough to where they could torture them,
Yeah.
but just mortal enough to where they could kill each other while it's distracted. So,
But in this case, it is just a machine.
yeah, it is
Okay.
very much just a machine. We don't really know that much about it. So, this story, and the thing I really like about it, is that it's just told by one person from their point of view, not as like somebody higher up in like the machinations of how society functions, not somebody who knows how everything works, but as just like the average everyday person going about their life in this society. And I think we don't get enough of that when talking about these stories with fascism. Normally, it's somebody who's either higher up and they're a soldier or something, and they fight for the good and the bad and for their nation, no matter which way it turns out. Or it's like 1984, where you're somebody who does resist and are punished for it, and you're forever haunted and changed by what has happened in the society. Here it's somebody who is never directly punished by the society, but sees, or at least hears about all the possible horrors they have been committing, because if you don't believe in machinism, you get tossed out into the unlivable wastes that is the surface
Oh.
of Earth, and any dissent is crushed. She herself never gets crushed because she herself never dissents. She is perfectly content with the way things are going, and she never has to see the horrors, never has it happen to her until everything goes wrong.
Yeah, that sounds.
Which I believe that's how a lot of people in societies that have gone through fascism, whether it be Nazi Germany or Italy, they are the kind of people who are like, well, it's not affecting me, so it can't be all that bad, right?
Yeah. So I think there was a movie that I watched on Netflix. I think it was called Guess Who's Back or Look Who's Back. And the premise of the movie is
Oh yeah, Hitler comes back.
Hitler gets time traveled to modern day Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like it really just is like Terminator style time travel, where it's a ball of lightning. He shows up. I mean, he's just as confused as the audience at that point, but he eventually figures it out and, gets up to his old shenanigans of being Hitler and all that. And one of the parts of the movie that really stuck out with me when I watched it years and years ago, like when it, I guess, first released on Netflix, was one of the characters who is like becomes Hitler's like assistant or handler or whatever, because he doesn't understand like computers and modern day society and all that. They have to stop by her house for something, and apparently she has Jewish heritage, and her grandmother is a Holocaust survivor, and she immediately sees him as like that is Hitler. Like everyone else thinks it's a person way committed to being a character, and she sees him as like that is like Hitler. And the granddaughter tries to calm her down because she's throwing a fit, rightfully, understandably so. And it's like, well, no, it's like a joke. It's like a long, like Andy Kaufman-esque kind of joke or whatever. And she says, like, yeah, like, well, like, do you not think that we laughed at him when he first showed up? And then he just kept going and kept gaining like support and power and all that. And that part really stuck out with me because it is easy to laugh at somebody, like, because it seems like things like countries going from democratic to fascism or totalitarianism or anything like that, it seems like it happened. It's a very, very slow burn, and then it happens all at once, and then that's when you can't go back. And I always thought that was really a really good like line. And they made a version of it where it's essentially the same movie, but it's Mussolini instead.
Is it made by the same people?
Yeah, it would have to be, right? I didn't watch it. I never watched that one though, because I mean, I don't know. I know far less about Mussolini, as I assume most people do. Hitler kind of got most of the spotlight and that type of infamy. So
Yeah. When there's two monsters going around, the bigger monster is going to get the more attention.
although I do believe Mussolini's granddaughter is still involved in politics.
Oh yeah, she was elected in Italy, something higher up. I can't remember what.
Yeah,
Yep.
which
And she's still part of the fascist party.
yeah, I was gonna say, and she's like not much different from what I recall reading about her. Like, how does that happen?
There's a lot of family pride there.
I mean, individually, I could see why she wants to do it, but I mean, like the people that vote in Italy, do they not? It's like, man, they forgive and forget, I guess.
Things get just a little bit bad. Somebody says they can solve the problem. Well, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Your last name's Mussolini? Oh, okay, sure.
Like, I would think there would be a lot of baggage tied with that name.
You would, wouldn't you? But anyway, the 7 points of fascism. How does it relate to the machine stops? First and foremost, a dictatorial leader. The machine is seen sort of as first a figurehead, very much like the thing that like is the reason why everything is as good as it is for the people in the society, and they refer to it as like the thing to follow. Whenever Kuno is trying to convince Vashti to come and visit him, she's like, I can't just come and see you in person. It's contrary to the age. And his response is, you mean contrary to the machine? And it's like very much like it sets the pace. As for seeing it as a leader, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be actually giving out orders, but a lot of people seem to be using it as a way to influence their power.
Okay.
Yeah. Centralized autocracy. There are multiple councils in the machine stops. They are in charge of various aspects, from the mending machine to, I think it's housing. Again, it has been a hot minute since I've read this. I should have refreshed my memory, but I just forgot to do it before now. But as for centralized power, we don't know how these people get to be on the council. It could be they're picked by other council members, they're drawn from a hat, who knows? So we can't really say much about how centralized it is, other than councils are in charge and they use the machine to throw their weight around.
Okay.
Yeah, so might want to throw that in like the maybe pile.
Within this context of the story, is there proof that the council is a real thing?
There is never really proof, because once again, Vashti doesn't really question these things, so we are not given any answers as the readers.
Okay. In the movie Equilibrium, like, it's revealed to Christian Bale's character that the father, like the leader, died like decades before that actually happened, and there's no real like council except for, the bad guy at the end.
Yeah.
Who is not taking whatever, what is that called? Prosium? That drug that suppresses emotion. Like, he's obviously not taking it. He has a very ostentatious, like, office.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, like, decorative columns, a very garish, like, red carpet. Like, it's not good looking. Like, I would almost rather have lived in the blank concrete apartments, but that does get revealed that there's not actually, like, it's only one guy running the whole scenes and
it's the metaphorical wizard behind the curtain. That's
that's a good way to say that.
Yeah, except he does reveal himself. So
yeah, well, he thinks he's trying to save his own life.
Yeah,
because he doesn't seem like he can. It seems like he knows that he's not going to beat Christian Bale in a fight.
Yeah, I want to try to take on 2000's Christian Bale.
Well, no, and I don't know. He's really good at gun kata and also sword fighting. Although in the movie he uses reverse grip to sword fight, which is like, there's never ever a reason to hold your sword upside down, ever.
It looks cool, but other than that, it's not useful.
It looks cool in film, and because it requires not as close a distance to two actors sword fighting,
mm-hmm.
and so they can move faster and do more complicated moves with a reverse grip sword.
Oh.
And that's the only reason why. Because, well, you're holding a sword like behind you upside down, so
yeah,
it's less dangerous for like the other actor.
I never really put two and two together like that. I thought it was just for looks.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks cool. Like, it does look kind of cool. You see it in media a lot, and yeah, it looks like, I always think that character has more attitude
mm-hmm.
when they hold their sword, or in the instance of the Force Unleashed video game, lightsaber upside down and reverse grip. But anyway.
Militarism. There doesn't seem to be that much focus on the military here. There's clearly like some sort of martial power. People are able to be banished to the surface, but there is no focus on the military. So strike that off from the characteristics present in the machine stops. Forcible suppression of opposition. Now, there is very clear signs of this. Like I said, anybody who does not follow machinism, banished to the surface. You're gonna die. Belief in a natural social hierarchy. Kind of. People think it's unnatural to be around each other after a while. People think that you really shouldn't behave this way. It's not necessarily a hierarchy. That actually should go. These points should be in the final point here. The strong regimentation of society and economy. I really should be saving that for this. My bad.
That's okay.
But yeah, there isn't really so much.
Well, you touched on like a hierarchy. You had said when that girl goes on the airship, she kind of thinks lesser of the people running the airship because they have an occupation or like a job or something.
It's more so that like directly experiencing anything. One of the big things in the short story that I did touch on was that something that a lot of people do is They get in like group video calls and they give presentations on things constantly.
Okay.
Yeah, like they'll research something and give a presentation on it. One person actually did go to the surface with a respirator and everything and like looked at the ocean and gave a presentation on the ocean to all the other people involved. But most of it really is just researching stuff from books and audio sources and everything, coming back, giving the presentation. Direct
It sounds like
experience.
YouTube.
I honestly did write in my notes down here.
So how is that? That sounds very similar to like when I listened to a video essay on like Jackie Wells from Cyberpunk and like why that character behaved in the way that he did behave and all that.
Yeah. I wrote down here, you could replace lecture with YouTube video or live stream, and it would still make sense in the
Modern day. Yeah.
I also, in my actual notebook, I was like, wow, all these people stay inside, just listen to lectures, and do nothing else. Just like me for real. This was when I was
But you have a
unemployed.
job
So
and-
this was when that brief period where I was unemployed for like 3 weeks up in St. Louis. So
3 weeks isn't that long.
But yeah, direct experience is seen as a horror to them. It is something if they experience that, they are just struck with fear. They cannot handle it. And I guess this woman who piloted an airship actually saw things outside more often than them. They saw her as like, why the hell do you want to live like that? Next point, subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. It is very much living life of luxury up until near the end of the story, where things start going wrong, stuff starts breaking, people get upset, and then like the council is like, hey, chill out, just live with a little less for now, and things will get better. Trust us, things will get fixed. And then people kind of just got used to things being broken for a hot minute.
I say like when I had said that sounds familiar earlier. That sounds like when Elon Musk was in regards to like Doge making all those cuts and saying things like things might get rougher for a while before they get better. And it's like, well, thank you, richest human to ever exist, for saying that it's going to get rough for me.
Yeah. I'm sure you're empathizing with me a lot right now. And now he's not even part of Doge anymore.
No. Well, that was the great thing about that position is since he was a special appointed agent or person, he can only do it for 180 days. And then either have to be like actually like for real hired or they have to, stop.
Yeah.
So that came to an end. Although I guess Doge is still around.
Doge is still around. Some of the people have been shifted around, but still mostly the original people. Big Balls got put in, started to work at Social Security now, which is fun to hear. Did you hear about that?
Not specifically that, but I do remember hearing the name Big Balls a lot. We were all learning about who this Doge team was, and it's like a group of like people in their early 20s or something to that effect.
Yep. Basically, it's
and there were like other equally as stupid names as Big Balls. It's, man, if it wasn't so like detrimental, it'd be funny.
If it was,
It still is pretty funny, but
honest to God, if this was like a late 2000s, early 2010s Seth Rogen film, I would be like, that's a silly joke. That's a silly joke about how the government runs.
yeah. Well, it's like when what was that that GameStop thing that was happening with the stock market and everything?
Yeah, like a bunch of Reddit investors were just like, hey, let's all go in on GameStop and try to save it.
You would be watching like legitimate news anchors say, user potato in my ass commented this, or user hot dad bods club. And it's like, is this what the news is now?
God, the more the internet becomes like a mainstream and a mainstay, the more and more we're going to have to hear people re-referred to by their usernames online. And that's scary to me.
I mean, I still think it's like it will usually only be in specific circumstances, but in like regards to like the GameStop stuff. It's like that may have been the only information that they had about that one individual.
Probably.
So, I mean, and that big balls, like, I don't know why you would. You should probably just go ahead and drop that once you get a job with the government and just use, like, your name as a user handle or your initials or something.
But back to the machine stops.
Mm-hmm.
Final point, strong regimentation of society and the economy. Yeah, society, I would say, is pretty well planned. I have written my notes in here that life is more or less planned from birth to death. In fact, you aren't even allowed to die without permission. In this
How does that
society,
work out?
I guess medicine is just so good that you do not die. And in the story, Vashti applies for death a couple of times.
Oh, Lord.
It's
You have to apply to die.
It's not seen as like a very sad thing. It's not like presented as a very sad thing. It's just like, yeah, it's part of what you got to do, you know. Birth rates are not allowed to exceed death rates, so she is not given permission to die. So that lets you know that they're trying to increase birth rates.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
Or that birth rates are low. But yeah,
Just like real life.
but society is very much regimented. So just doing a quick like tally. Out of the 7 main points of fascism, there is 4 points of fascism out of 5 or out of 7. You could argue that there may be a couple more points depending upon your perception of things, but ultimately you can will it down to about 4 without argument. What do you think?
Well, from never having have read the story and just going from your summary, that seems pretty accurate to that list. Like, there was no real mention of the military, it sounded like, other than there's some sort of enforcement agency to do something. Yeah, that seems pretty accurate. I mean, especially the regimentation of society.
Yeah.
So, and like all their needs are met within those cells. They don't have like jobs that they do. They just literally sit at that cell and watch 1902 YouTube.
Mm-hmm, pretty much. They sit in that cell, watch YouTube, make YouTube videos. Yeah, you know what? That sounds like
just watch their version of like streamers talk about the ocean that they'll never see anyway. Man, that sounds awful. That's interesting though that like you have to apply to die. There's something similar to that in Soylent Green, although I wouldn't say that's necessarily like a totalitarian society. It's mostly like overpopulation of the world is a big problem in that story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever seen it?
I have gotten like the cliff notes of it before, and I just know the final line of Soylent Green is people.
Yeah. Yeah. They have, like in the 70s in real life, like overpopulation was a real big concern.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know why. But it was for some reason, and there was a few things like Soylent Green, Logan's Run, and I don't know, probably a handful of other things I can't think of at the moment were centered around that. Like in the movie, like they said 40 million, the population of New York City was 40 million.
Whoa.
Which it would be physically, it's just hard to imagine. But they also, so like the numbers were kind of weird and understandable because when you think of like big numbers like that, because the movie also warned that the population of the world was 7 billion, which we have more than that in the world now. But 40 million in New York City is ludicrous.
Yeah. I mean, not unless like urban sprawl really kicks in and they start like including things that like people might be dicks about and be like, no, we're not really part of New York or something like that. Then maybe it's a bit more feasible.
Yeah, well, you see a lot of people just sleeping literally everywhere in the movie, except for the scenes that you don't. But that may have been for real life reasons. Like you had to get the other actors out of there to save money or something.
We can't have these many extras in the shot right now.
Yeah, like so they may have been always supposed to be there. It's been a while since I've even thought about that movie. Or there may have been a curfew, but I wouldn't know where they would go. Where the hell do 40 million people go in New York City? Like,
I don't know, Chief. Well, not unless it's just like local curfews. Like you can't be in this neighborhood from the times of 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. Go to one of the neighboring neighborhoods or something.
Yeah, another thing that made me think of Soylent Green was it's known that there are parts in the country, like they just refer to it as like the country, that are not as populated, but it's locked up. And you had said since people aren't allowed, or they could go to the surface at some point, but not visit,
Yeah.
like it would.
You can
Other-
visit, but you're monitored.
Yeah, but the other parts, like in the country, it's locked up for farmland, and I think the Charlton Heston character says something about being paranoid of it being taken away, as if like from like enemy forces or something like that.
Huh.
But it's never really. It's just kind of implied, or it's never really outright said like who's going to take it or ruin it. Other than, I don't know, the 40 million people in New York City that are homeless. But, I mean, like that, the numbers in that movie were all over the place, and it just seemed like something that was just exaggerated, because it's just hard to think in big numbers like that.
Yeah. Just
So,
You just need a lot of population in one small area. It's 40 million is a good number, I'd say, for exaggeration.
I mean, 40 million is a good number for a country,
Yeah.
let alone just New York City. I mean, New York is big, but in real life, like only like, I want to say like 9 million live in it. Like, you know, like Manhattan isn't huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very well developed. Like they would have to literally be standing on top of each other. And let's see, what else? Well, there was a chain of command, I guess in some regard, from like the machine or machinism. Although you could argue that would be like a hierarchy thing.
Yeah, I have. I actually do have my notes here. I found them.
But if it's just a regular machine, somebody would have to interpret what they thought the machine was saying to be the leader,
Maybe.
which
Or unless-
that person would then have some sort of control over society.
Yeah, like here it's for dictatorial leader. I had written, the machine is in control, but the central committee runs the day-to-day and puts out propaganda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good old propaganda. Yeah, but yeah, not much of a dictatorial leader. There's a committee, whether it exists or not. We just assume it is because Vashti assumes it exists. All power is in the committees I have written here. Technically, they do make the decisions. It's not just one person making the decisions, but it is just one entity making the decision. No mention of military, forced suppression of opposition. We already talked about people being threatened with homelessness, being thrown up into the surface to die. No mention of hierarchy, subordination of individual interests. Like I said before, people are cared for at first, but as soon as things are going awry, they're like, please give up your luxuries so that we can fix the mending apparatus to fix everything.
So, Animal Farm hits arguably all of those points.
Please.
So, dictatorial leader. So, after all the farm animals revolt against the humans, I can't remember the pig that led the revolt. Well, he died.
Mm-hmm.
And his subordinate, or yeah, I guess it would be a subordinate, his number two, was a pig named Napoleon.
Mm-hmm.
That rose to power, and he was obviously very power hungry, because when the animals overthrew the humans, they turned the farmhouse that the humans lived in into a museum. But then once Napoleon came around, he turned it into his personal house for himself and the other pigs. And then, let's see, centralized autocracy. So I guess that would be the same thing.
Yeah, the
It's
pigs are very much in charge.
Yeah, militarism. So he had like a group of dogs, like Dobermans or something, right?
Yeah, one of the dogs had puppies, and then he was just like, I'll take them to raise them to be good, upstanding animals on our animal farm.
Which at first sounds, good. He's stepping up to raise a bunch of young puppies. But they eventually get turned into a police force.
Mm-hmm.
Forcible suppression of opposition. So there was another pig that was banished from the farm, I
Yeah.
believe.
Wasn't that other pig's name Snowball, I want to say?
Yeah, it was. I don't remember what that character did before he was banished, or it may have just been kind of like a character that was around to show being banished.
If I remember right, that other pig was like second in command with Napoleon. And like it was a Lenin-Stalin situation where this other pig really did believe in the cause, more or less.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I think he was banned after they started changing the 7 commandments. No pigs or no animals shall sleep in a bed. And then they just like obviously like tacked on like with sheets.
Yep.
Which they probably also still had sheets. So I think that was around the time Snowball was kicked out. Belief natural social hierarchy. Yeah, so pigs were the ruling class, or they became the ruling class.
All animals are equal, but some animals more equal than others.
Yeah, that's what eventually all the commandments were erased, and that was just the only thing left written. Which, man, even in a like, even if you're like the leader in a totalitarian society, that's a little on the nose. Like you gotta you gotta like soften it up a little bit. Subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. So the pigs hoarded the milk from the cows, I believe, right?
They kind of hoarded like all material goods eventually.
Well, like milk was like the big one, I guess, because it was a farm. But it was, yeah, it's a metaphor for like resources. I guess it was like milk and something else. I want to say honey, but I think I'm just thinking of the phrase milk and honey. But they hoarded that, so yeah. Strong regiment of society and the economy. Oh, that's what I just said. Oh, is that all of them?
Subordination of individual, strong, regimented of society and economy. Yeah, I think that's all of them. If that's the 7 points.
Yeah, because and with the economy, like animals weren't supposed to use like money or do trade with other humans, and eventually they did, or the pigs did. And yeah, I guess it kind of hits. Yeah, it does hit a lot of those points. So yeah, and I can't remember how that book ended.
If I remember right, it was just all the other animals looking into the farmhouse. The pigs had invited some humans over
And they
to
were having
discuss things.
a big party, and like
And they were like, we can't tell the difference between the pigs and the
yeah,
humans.
either like the pigs became human-like or the humans became pig-like. I don't, or maybe it was a combination of both. Was that the end?
Yep, that was
Oh,
the end.
man.
That was just like, oh, wow, we can't tell the difference between the leaders that we overthrew and the leaders we have now.
Wow, what a depressing ending. They could have at least ended with like another revolution.
I think there was one of the film adaptations for kids ended with another with another revolution.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
But I think like the whole that like the first pig that did the initial revolution and Napoleon, that was supposed to be like how like Lenin and Stalin were not very good friends by the time Lenin died.
No.
And Lenin would say a lot like, this guy's an asshole. Like there needs to be like a second revolution. And so I think that's what that was probably in reference to. I don't know in real life who Snowball would be.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that first pig, the one that like was essentially like lecturing to all the animals at the very beginning of the story.
That wrote the 7 commandments. Like the good communist leader, or
well, this one died just before the revolution actually happened. It was the big one. He's like the one that was respected by everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So that first one, I guess that would have been Karl Marx.
Yes.
And then Snowball would have been Lenin?
I think Snowball was Lenin
And then Napoleon was Stalin.
Yeah. Or Snowball was Trotsky.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. I do not know enough about the
No, that
communist.
sounds right. I bet it's probably supposed to be Trotsky. That sounds right. I get confused with it thinking about it because like one is named Snowball and the other is named Napoleon, which is a real guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did you name him that?
He decided to be a little on the nose for somebody who was power hungry, but didn't want to be too on the nose as to name the pig something like Steel or something.
I thought people liked Napoleon. Is he not remembered fondly?
Depends on who you ask.
Okay. I mean, the first one, like, has, I don't believe, well, I guess not. He was exiled, wasn't he?
He was exiled, and
Although he walked back, or he came back.
he came back and then was exiled again.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, I guess you don't get exiled twice for being a good person.
No,
You have
you
to be
do
a
not.
huge raging asshole. Brave New World, I'm not entirely sure how many points this would fit in, because I don't recall any, like, militarism in it or anything.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
really seems like they went with, like, in Brave New World, they've gone with, like, the bread and circuses route to just control the populace, and you keep them high and entertained, which works for a little while. Eventually, it's going to stop. It's not sustainable.
I mean, I guess there is like a centralized autocracy
Uh-huh.
in Brave New World. Nobody is really in charge. None of the citizens have say over the government in Brave New World. So you can make an argument for that.
And what was the other? Oh, Starship Troopers. Well, you haven't talked about it yet, so talk about that.
All right. So
So I've never actually read the book. I saw the Paul van der Voven, that Dutch guy's movie.
yeah,
I
Paul
like the
Vanderhoven.
movie. How do you pronounce his last name?
I think it's Vanderhoven.
Van der Hoven. Okay, yeah, I like it. I'm a big fan of that guy because RoboCop is awesome.
Yeah.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger on Mars movie.
Total Recall.
Yes, that was great. I never saw the Marky Mark one though. I'm sure it wasn't as good.
It wasn't.
Okay. Just like how the reboot of RoboCop wasn't good at all, but I only saw the first like 40 minutes of it and before I stopped watching.
It was forgettable.
Yeah. Well, it was like I'm 40 minutes in and the dude wasn't even RoboCop yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Peter Weller in the first 5 minutes of the movie gets his shit wrecked and then becomes RoboCop in the next scene.
Yep.
Like it's like, come on, we got like 90 minutes to do this. Let's get going, guys.
Yeah. Paul Vanderhoven did a lot of satires in his time.
Yes, he's very good at satire.
Yes. RoboCop's supposed to be a satire of the military-industrial complex. Total Recall, similar thing. He also tried to like make fun of like consumerism in Total Recall. It was a bit less focused in Total Recall.
Yeah, and I always thought like Total Recall's big hook was you don't really actually know if Arnold Schwarzenegger's character was like maybe he actually was like that agent.
Yeah, maybe he was
Like
that spy.
you don't know what was the real part about that.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was like its like twist and not necessarily like. And I would agree with like it could be like a thing on consumerism.
Yeah.
Like I mean, a woman with 3 titties.
Yes.
That's a bit much. But Starship Troopers, like I said, I never read the book. I just only saw the movie and the second movie
Let's.
and the third movie. But those two aren't the same
Yeah.
as the first one, especially the second one. That one got weird.
Yeah. Let's go over the movie first, since that's more popular.
Okay, yeah. Well, that movie is obviously, I mean, especially in hindsight, but it's hard to imagine how the joke didn't land. It's a satire of like, or I took it as a satire of like patriotism, or maybe nationalism, and I don't know, maybe military worship to a degree.
Yes.
I'm always afraid to talk about military worship because you don't want to sound like you're anti-troops or anything, especially growing up during 9/11. Like a lot of talking heads in the media would say like, I support the troops, but not the military or something to that effect, or not like their objective that they're being told to do or stuff like that. I don't see how it didn't, like the joke, like no one got it as satire. Like Neil Patrick Harris is wearing a literal Nazi uniform in it, and that should have been a tip.
It just seemed like a standard action film at the time, and there's plenty of people who still look at it today and are just like, oh yeah, this is awesome, and they knew this is how you structure society. This is how people should be seeing things.
Yeah, like Paul made a too good of an action movie.
Uh-huh.
Like the nuance got overshadowed by the like Because I still think like the effects and everything are great in it, and I still think they hold up. Like it looks really good.
Yeah. I
I don't know how they did it. It looked like it was a lot of practical stuff, but
yeah.
yeah, it does play off as a really good, just straight up action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there, especially the scenes like, man, like that society is extremely co-ed.
Yeah. But I kind of want to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
So one of the scenes we see is that they are all in the showers together. But
Yes.
there's like no like there's nothing sexual going on there. It is simply just like, yeah, we're all in the showers together. It's how we do things here.
Yeah, it's the most normal thing. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you be all showering at the same time?
Yeah.
No real dividers.
Mm-hmm.
Ever like men, women.
But
Paul had to be naked for that scene because all the actors refused to do it unless he was also naked.
uh-huh. But the two main characters, two of the main characters, the two love interests,
Oh,
they have no interest in each other until their commanding officer says, "All right, you two go at it. I'm leaving."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part. But you're talking about Casper Van Dien's character and whatever chick he
Yeah.
was hooking up with.
Yeah.
But not Dizzy though. Dizzy was the other girl.
Maybe. I don't. It has been a
Well,
long time.
he had a squad mate that was the girl with the brown, like wavy hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the love interest. That they were just friends.
Yeah. It has been a hot minute since I've seen this movie, but I know the scene I'm talking about because
Okay.
it is seared in my brain. Because I remember
Okay.
being like, "That's
All right,
weird." Why did the commanding officer give them permission? And then I thought about it a bit, and I was like, they do not like feel any of that until they're told, "Hey, go ahead, do that."
Yeah,
It is until after they get permission from a commanding officer that they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, we're down for that."
yeah, which is strange because it really seems like military society and civilian society are very separate things
Yeah.
in that world. I don't know how the book handles that, but I know in the movie, doing military time or service was a way to get citizenship.
It
And
is
in
the
order,
same in the book.
and you have to have citizenship to be allowed to have children. And one of the characters wanted a family or something to that effect. Maybe that girl that I'm talking about. And that's the same in the book.
You don't need citizenship to have a family.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, the book is very much different in its narrative. Like the book and the movie have very little in common with each other.
Oh, that's a bummer. I assume the book isn't as like jokey and
No,
like to.
it is much more sincere.
Okay, well, describe how so.
So all throughout the book, you just follow the main character whose name I'm forgetting. You start out pretty similar. He's graduating high school. His friend wants to join the military, and he's like, "Well, my friend always knows the best thing to do, so I'll follow my friend." His dad says, "Hey, that is not a good idea. Don't do it." And he's like, "Okay, I won't do it, Dad." And then
Rico.
Rico.
That's the character's name.
Yes. And he ends up going with his friend to the military sign up. I forget what it's called. And then he's like, "I'll just go ahead and do it anyway and explain to my dad later." And then he joins the military. And we just follow his adventures as he goes around. He's not with his friend. He is not with any of his high school friends.
Yeah, that's how that happened. That part happens in the movie too, where
Yeah.
he gets in what are they called, the Roughnecks or whatever?
Yeah.
Like Michael Ironside's
Mm-hmm.
battalion,
Yeah.
I guess.
But like, we're cutting in between him fighting out whatever they're doing in his powered armor, fighting the bugs, and we're constantly cutting back to his high school history and morals class, where it is this professor who used to be a colonel in the military. Who is just like pontificating about how society should be structured and why the society is structured the way it is and why it works so well. One of the things that he talks about is, why is it that you only get citizenship if you're a soldier? Well, only the people that are willing to die for their country should be able to have these rights. If you're not
Oh.
willing to die for your country, then you don't really deserve these rights. What are rights anyway? Rights are He has some kid say, "What are the rights from the Constitution? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And then he like scoffs and goes, "Pff, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If I kill you right now, do you have the right to life? No, you don't. If I chain you up and never let you leave, do you have the right to liberty? Well, no, I just took your right away. Happiness, well, you could be happy wherever. That's something that I guess I can't take away from you. But those first two, nah, those ain't rights." And it's all sincere, and it's all like, damn, okay.
Well, that is certainly one interpretation of the preamble to the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that is, like, that is a very badly misinterpretation of it, because like having the right to life, that doesn't mean you're immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were murdered, that doesn't mean your right to life was taken away. That would mean,
But
how would I interpret that?
yeah, his argument is more or less just like, well, technically, there's nothing anywhere in like the rules of the universe itself that says I have to that you have these rights.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not wrong in like a technical sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, not like as in like a law of like physics,
Mm-hmm.
but man, I don't like that character. That's a bad character.
Yeah, he's very much written as like this is the author's character where he just talks about his worldview and is basically like, this is why the way I think about the world is right, and we should function the way I think society should function.
So what? Well, what was the original like intent with the book? Was it still like satire or
It
like a
was
critique of like?
no, it really feels like it is meant to be sincere all the way
Oh,
through.
so he was like all for
Or
like.
I will admit I did listen to an audiobook version on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
So it could have just been that the interpretation of the people who made the audiobook was completely sincere, and that's how they presented the work. So that may have shaded my views on it a bit.
Oh, that's
It was good quality, I'll tell you that much. It was
Oh,
really
okay.
good quality audiobook. Had
That-
sound effects.
Oh,
and,
it was one of those. I can't remember what they call those things nowadays, like dramatized or something to that effect. Audiobook. Oh man. Oh, okay. So he was. So the author may have been sincere about the military, like supremacy and all that.
yeah, it is very much following the military, and very much just a lot of points in it where it's like, oh yeah, soldiers are like the best people ever. And if you can't cut it as a soldier, then that's not on you. It's not your fault. But soldiers are still just like the best fucking people ever.
Oh, well, there's a little empathy in there where it's like if you can't cut it, then it's not necessarily your fault. So
Yeah.
So that's good. Maybe there's something redeeming in there.
Yeah. But it's very much like, yeah, military is the natural state of humanity. And even the dad does not die in the book. The
Oh,
dad, yeah, he is not in Buenos Aires whenever the meteor hits, because that still happens.
Mhm.
But he does come back later. He's like, yeah, I decided to join the military after we went to war. And son, I gotta say, I'm sorry I told you not to join.
Oh.
This is something I myself was scared of when I was a boy, and I never did it, and I always blamed myself for that.
So no lesson was learned. It was just, I mean, describing it that way, it sounds pretty sincere in that case, because it seems like the dad would have been right in the end to tell him to not do it.
Yeah. The book ends, they all do like their big drops every mission.
Uh-huh.
The book ends with the son being in charge of a drop. He's securing his dad into one of the pods, like he's doing with everybody else. And he's like, good luck down there, and sending them all off.
Oh.
It's really talking about like the bonds soldiers form on the battlefield, and when fighting together so much, and when in their squads and everything.
Yeah. Well, like in the movie, like his dad probably dies, I would imagine, just for storytelling purposes. So
Yep.
Michael Ironside would be more of like a father figure to him, because that character, Casper Van Dien's character, really seems to, while he was in a different like battalion than his friends when they signed up, he seems to like really have a knack for being the tip of the spear, or the equivalent for Starship Troopers of that.
Yep, pretty much. In the book, I don't know if this happens in the movie. I don't think it does. Like I said, it's been a hot minute. But infantry is like one of the last things he wants to do. You're allowed to give like a list of like.
Well, it's so incredibly dangerous, I believe, right?
Yep, you're given like you're able to give a list of all the things you want to be in the military, and then it's like his last two choices are like a side dog handler and like a infantry. And the recruiter is like, did you have a dog growing up? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, did you ever let your dog in the sleep with you in your bed every night? And he's like, no, my mom didn't let me have him in the house. And the crew was like, yeah, but you snuck him in, right? And and he's like, no, I didn't do that. And he's like, okay, so listen here. For side dog handlers, you are psychically linked to your dog. It is such an important psychological and emotional bond that you have with this animal that if you die, and this is a dog that can talk and everything, if you die, we shoot the dog. And if the dog dies, you're going to feel like such shit, you're going to wish we put you down.
Yeah, so that character, like the main Rico,
yeah,
in the movie, he's portrayed as kind of like a himbo, who seems to have like well intentions. Yeah. He's just not the brightest color in the box. I don't know how he is in the. What's he like in the book? Is he kind of similar, or?
He's kind of wishy-washy starting out, like not really knowing what he wants to do with life.
Yeah.
Aimless. And then he slowly comes to realize, oh yeah, the military is the best thing ever. And then he gets like the drive to want to be in the military, that he's just like a good old all-American boy. That realizes, oh yeah, this is where I'm meant to be.
Well, yeah, I guess that part, that holds out in the book, or in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like Rico's Roughnecks or whatever once he takes command of the thing and jumps on the bug and throws the grenade up its ass or whatever he does. I mean, it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. The book was haunting.
Yeah, the book sounds way more sad.
And like how like sincere it was in just how bleak and serious army life is, but also how it's so fulfilling, and also in just how sincere its more fascistic views on things are.
Yeah, like the book or the movie really, it does put a lot on the audience to infer, like with like the propaganda stuff, like the would you like to know more, like newscasts and stuff like that, and also like,
I'm doing my part.
Yeah, that, and also it's like it really seemed obvious that humanity had started that war, because how are the bugs supposed to leave their planet in the first place?
Yeah, so in the book, the bugs do colonize other planets. Okay. So they can leave, and they do apparently have ships.
Oh.
Yeah, so it is much more of a, it's an equal war. The bugs are moving out, humanity is moving out.
Oh, the movie really gives you the feeling of it's like...
Like, how did the bugs send a meteor to Earth?
Yeah, well, there's those scenes where like those bugs on the ground are shooting those energy balls into orbit, but that seems more like a biological thing, and like getting something to orbit is vastly different than getting something to a different planet.
Yep.
And in the movie, it really feels like humanity is the invasion force, and the bugs are just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. In the book, going back to the teacher character in the book, or no, it wasn't the teacher character, was it? Because they weren't going after the bugs yet, I don't think. I don't remember. But there is one discussion of like, moving out into the universe, conquering planets. The bugs are doing it right now, and we're doing it right now. If we don't get to a place first, the bugs will. And if the bugs don't get to a place first,
we got to fight them there so we don't have to fight them here.
Kind of a bit of that, but also a bit more of like, maybe in the future, society will look back and look at all the expanding we're doing and saying, hey, this is bad.
That was something that I remember from my childhood.
But if we don't, for right now, we are expanding, and we'll let the future decide morally what we're doing. And for right now, we're just going to keep expanding because it benefits us.
And what was the other one that you wanted to... Oh, the Brotherhood of Steel.
Right.
Fallout.
Real quick, though.
Oh, yeah.
How about we do the whole 7 points for...
Oh, 7 points, yeah.
Yeah. dictatorial leader. We don't really see a leader in Starship Troopers. Like, not one that's, like, in charge of all of society.
No, but it's heavily implied that there is some sort of governing force at the top. Like, there is definitely a hierarchy there, and someone has to be in charge of it.
Yeah. But whether or not it's a hierarchy of, like, a president or if it's, like, a supreme leader, it's kind of... It's not exactly obvious.
It's not obvious. If I had to guess within the movie, if it would have gone into something like that, I would have guessed they would have a leader that they would refer to as president, but there would probably be more powerful people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like a puppet dictator.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But since that's not something that's that obvious, I don't know if we can count it, is the thing. Like, we can't just infer these things.
Yeah. Centralized autocracy. The movie doesn't specifically say... It's not specifically the United States, right? It's just humans?
No, it's just humans.
Okay,
Very
yeah,
much based off of, like, how the United States runs things.
Mm-hmm.
Or how...
Yeah.
But
I always took it as, like, there must be... It seems like in the movie it's like a united Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and although they never specifically say anything.
Yeah.
But it's implied.
I think it is United Earth. It very much is, yeah.
Paul might be giving me too much credit in trying to get to the subtext of his movies.
It very much is a United Earth in the book because the military is comprised of... It is very, like, multicultural. It takes moments to point out that, like, you're standing beside, like, a Hindu from India, a Japanese man whose, like, father is a colonel, a high-up colonel in the military right now.
Uh-huh.
Somebody from, like, Germany. It is very much pointing out that, like, oh, yeah, everybody who wants to be part of the military can join the military. As long as you're human, you're all equal in the military.
All right. Humanity first.
Humanity first.
Militarism,
Yes.
obviously. Okay.
Huge point on that one.
If not the entire point.
Forcible suppression of opposition.
I guess the bugs would be the opposition, but I don't know what dissent is in that society. From the movie, anyway.
Well, actually, in the book, there is a moment where...
Oh, wait, there is a scene where I believe somebody gets whipped. It's like a military whipping.
Yeah,
because it's like a very professional military-grade looking like stockade that they tie him to. It might have been Casper Van Dien's character. I guess it would have to have been. Otherwise, like, who would care in the movie?
Yeah. That does happen a couple times in the book, but it's always like, hey, you broke military rules. You broke, like, big fucking rules. You're gonna get whipped now.
Yeah, I don't recall why that happened to his character.
But in the book, there is a moment where the main character and a few of his friends are on shore leave. And there are, like, a bunch of, like, drunks, like, heckling them.
Okay.
And, like, they decide, all right, we're going to leave the bar. Well, the drunks follow them and try to fight them.
Okay.
And naturally, trying to fight a bunch of soldiers, they get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
And, like, the soldiers are like, the police end up coming, and the main character and his friends are like, no, we don't want to press charges. We already kicked their asses. We don't want them thrown in jail or anything for trying to attack us. So there really isn't that... So it seems like opposition is very much, like, allowed to an extent. Like, you are allowed to, like, heckle the soldiers. You are allowed to, like, not agree with everything the government is doing. So...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got their asses kicked, but...
But, like, they started the fight.
Yeah. So it was like Con Air.
Yeah.
Where Nick Cage, killed that guy outside of that bar.
You fuck around, you find out.
Okay.
Belief in a natural social hierarchy.
I mean, there's something to do with citizenship.
Yep.
Like having that and not having it.
You do not have full citizenship unless you serve in the military.
Well, and does the book talk about, like, the benefits of having citizenship? Like, what does that give you compared to not having it?
One of the big things is that you're allowed to vote.
Okay.
And you're allowed to hold office.
Okay.
I don't remember much more beyond that.
So, like, the same rules of real life citizenship. Like, you're allowed to vote
Yeah.
hold office, stuff like that. You just don't inherently have it.
You just don't inherently have it. You
Oh.
must give something to the state in order to gain citizenship.
Oh, okay. So almost like ending birthright citizenship is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Got that.
Yeah, but very much a natural social hierarchy. The people who are willing to die for their country are higher up than those who are not willing to die for their country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much of a natural thing that is depends on your view of psychology and everything, nature versus nurture, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess you would want that mentality in a military, right?
I mean, I
Or
suppose so.
how effective would it be? I don't have that mentality. It's harder to. It's difficult to think of like a big picture stuff like that.
I mean, there's always... the situation always defines things. Like, if we were somehow, like, back in, like, the 1930s or whatever, and we're about to fight the Nazis, I'd like to think I would be more willing to sign up, but...
Well, that was a draft, though.
Yeah,
so
but, you know, people still signed up as well.
they did. And I don't know. Nazis are so obviously evil, so
Yeah.
it's easy to want to, fight them.
Yeah. Well, obviously evil in hindsight.
Yeah, there were probably clues in like in the present, like in the moment that they were not good.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. That's
Plenty of people caught on to that quick.
yeah.
But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put one in the belief of a natural social hierarchy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race.
In the movie, there's not really a scene to show one way or the other if that's a thing or not.
I think what I brought up earlier, the whole, oh yeah, we don't have any like sexual desires until our superior officer gives us like the okay.
Oh, well, yeah, that would definitely be a suppression or not, subordination, I guess.
Yeah, it's not seen as a forceful suppression, more like a, oh yeah, these are just good soldiers who are doing their duty and not getting horny.
Well, they're there to take a shower and nothing else. I mean, I guess, well, they, talk shit on each other, but that's just playful banter, camaraderie.
But yeah, it is
I mean, I think that's a plus, that it's totally cool that, because I do remember reading something about, I guess may have been alluded to in the books, or maybe if this is just expanded universe lore fandom stuff of Starship Troopers, but like also things as far as like sports or co-ed and things, and like there's no real division of male and female gender. So I guess there's
it's just a natural thing all
women
throughout.
in the NFL being a defensive tackle and stuff like that.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, I guess you can make an argument that that's what you do when you join the military.
Yeah.
Like, you for sure have to give up, like, a lot of things to be part of the military. And in order to
just like real life or any real commitment to something as important as that, I guess.
Yeah, but you need to get that in order to become a citizen. And
trying to earn your citizenship, that really puts a big twist on things, and not just being born a human on the planet, I guess, just doesn't automatically give you citizenship.
Mm-hmm. You have to give up your time if you want something in the future, if you want to be able to vote, hold office, have any of the benefits of being a citizen. You have to give something to the state first.
Yeah.
So it's a weak argument for subordination of individual interests on my part, I will admit. So I'm not going to like put a point in that. If you have anything, though.
I still think, like, I mean, I can only speak for the movie again, but it seems like it just came off, because I don't remember that scene where, like, those two characters got permission to have sex, and even if I did, I'd probably just write it off as, like, he was, like, halfway joking when he said it, not if it was any, like, actual, like, legitimate permission given. I always took it as just, like, that's just how society is. It's just extremely co-ed.
Yeah.
Which...
Well, I might be focusing too much on the shower scene when I said that, but I just mean like in general.
Well, we all were. I mean, it's a good scene.
Yeah. In general, I mean like once you're in the military, you do not feel like those affections towards your fellow.
I mean, like, watching Denise Richards take a shower was integral to that story.
I imagine.
I don't even think she was in that scene. I think she was an officer.
I was gonna say, I think that was integral to many young boys' upbringings.
Yeah, like I don't even think she was in that scene. She was the an officer on like the bridge of the spaceship, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there was, because there was that scene where she's talking to somebody and she notices like the liquid in the glass is pulling to one side even though it should be level, and it's because there's a giant asteroid or something, like the gravity from that is pulling the liquid. I don't know if that's how that would work though in real life.
I mean, if the gravity on the ship is strong enough to mimic Earth gravity, then probably not.
No. It was a cool scene though.
Yeah. And strong regimentation of society and the economy. Definitely so. If you have to earn your citizenship, I would definitely say that is a strong regimentation of society.
Yes. Economy-wise, I don't remember anything specific that would let you know in the movie, but it would seem to be a natural extension of like such rigid like social groups of citizens and non-citizens.
I mean, I remember the main character's dad owned a business and he was not a citizen, so I'd say the economy is definitely much more like, it just seems like laissez-faire capitalism, more or less. Like, there might have been some restrictions in this society that we just don't know about because it just doesn't come up in the story.
Yeah.
But, it seems like the economy is perfectly fine. It's more of, like, societal norms and everything and how, like, who is a citizen and who isn't.
Well, if you own a business, you would definitely have an interest in, like, the politics of that area.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't vote, then you would just be hoping like every election just goes your way.
Yep.
Okay. And that would probably, like in reality, like that would also probably extend to like, well, like a non-citizen owned business would mean like there's like, I would assume a tax or something like that, probably if not several different taxes, and then you'd probably get like, I would also imagine you would get better access to a higher quality of services as a citizen.
Probably.
Like medical care in an emergency and a life-saving thing, everyone probably has access to it. Mm-hmm. Citizens might have preventive care available.
But,
or cheaper medicine, something like that.
Something along those lines. But if it's not explicitly stated in the story, I feel as though we can't just, like, make assumptions here. Mm-hmm. It's how the author wants to, like, design the world, and while we can think, oh yeah, this would make sense if it was structured this way, ultimately we have to deal with what the author thought was pertinent to tell us. So, that is still a point in this section to me, though, because of soldier citizenship.
So now, is that all the list of the 7?
Yep, that's the list of the 7, and according to the main tenets of fascism, Starship Troopers only comes out with 2 out of 7.
That is, I'm surprised. I would, just seeing the movie, I would assume it would be more.
Yeah. You would think so, but really that's probably because it is like 99% militarism, like strong militarism.
Also, with a movie, you only see like the 3 characters and their point of views of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They all seem thrilled to be there. Like they seem like they're happy as hell with their society.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is actually a 4 out of 7. I forgot about natural social hierarchy.
Oh yeah,
or 3 out of 7. Yeah.
3.
So
that's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's still pretty low for something that's considered a quintessential piece of fascist rhetoric.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's way better than what I would have thought it would have been given. But There we go.
Well, it's just how things go. Because, like I said, it's mostly militarism.
Yeah,
heavy focus. Like you can zoom in on any piece of society, and you would think that's all the society is about. So
yeah. Well, that's a thing with strongman dictators, right? They just view the military as an extension of their own personality, and that's why real-life dictators love like things like military parades and such fanfare and all that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think this is
even under the guise of it's the 250th anniversary of the Army.
Yep. But I think that's everything I have for Starship Troopers. Do you have anything more to say?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not that I haven't already said. Oh, Yeah, the second and third movie aren't really worth watching.
So I've heard.
Yeah, like the second movie is completely different, and those two are just generic action movies. Like the second one, like no one from the first like the first movie is in it, and it's mostly about one of the psychic people, which I always kind of felt like that wasn't a real thing. They just think it is. Like when Neil Patrick Harris puts his hand on the queen bug,
Yeah.
and it's like
She's afraid.
yeah, he says like it's afraid, and everyone cheers, and it's like, of course it's afraid. For one, you could see how it's afraid because of its behavior, because it doesn't understand anything, because it's just a big giant bug. But yeah, like why wouldn't it be afraid? So I always assumed that was just some other like propaganda type of thing that wasn't even real, like within the story itself. But the second one, it's about one of those guys, and yeah, it seems real, I guess. And then the third one it's cool that Casper Van Dien is back in it, but yeah, again, it's just another generic action movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
And you don't even get to see like the planet cracker weapon
Yeah.
deploy. It just like they launch it, and then the window that the camera is looking out of, it's like Casper Van Dien and his love interest kiss in front of it, so they block the view of it exploding a planet.
Yeah.
Which is like it's just not a satisfying ending.
That does sound like it. The whole thing that's building up to, and it gets blocked by.
But maybe that was a statement of itself. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit. I just assumed it was because it was cheaper to not show it.
But yeah.
But that's all I got to say about Starship Troopers, I guess.
All right. Did you want to move on to one of your pieces of media you came here with?
Oh, well, 1984. Let's see. Dictatorial leader in 1984. I don't recall a specific individual being named like the leader, but it is certainly implied as there is one. And I would say it definitely hits that. I always assumed it was actually, like, I always got the feeling from 1984 it was actually one single supreme individual, and then not necessarily like a council or anything. Unless you want to count the leaders of the other two countries, which is Oceania, which is like Western Europe and North and South America, or South America eventually. Europa, which is Eastern Europe and like Northern Asia, and then Eastern Asia, which is like South Asia. They probably, like, you could also, I inferred that they might have, like, the leaders of those other two countries are probably in cahoots with each other just to keep a war going, just as another tool to keep control of the population. Because if three people are in control of the whole planet, you're going to have some sort of common goal to work towards. And that's why they can say, like, change who the enemy is mid-broadcast.
Yeah.
So I would say dictatorial leader, yes, it probably hits that. Centralized autocracy, absolutely. Same for the same reasons. Militarism, you can assume so. It doesn't specify in the book, I don't think. It doesn't seem like a very militaristic society unless you would be in the military, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they are in constant wars, correct?
They are in constant wars. So there would have to be some degree of militarism, but the main character of the story isn't a military guy. I think he works in a factory. But so maybe not hit that one, I would say. Forcible suppression of opposition. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
The constant propaganda machines going off. Big Brother constantly watching you. You can't even turn off your television. And the only channel you get is like the news, which is just propaganda again. And like the deletion of already recorded history. So like, oh, we're fighting like Asia now. Well, why are we doing that? Well, we are always fighting Asia, even though it just changed literally like 10 minutes ago. And then you can even like go look it up in the records, and it's like, oh, I guess we were really always fighting Asia, because they will change it. Belief in a natural social hierarchy. Yeah, I would say Big Brother would have that. Like, that would be evidence of that.
How so?
Well, you're going to be observed constantly. Like the people who are observing you are always going to have some sort of power over you.
So it's like the people in the government are higher up on the hierarchy than standard citizens.
Well, Big Brother would be, yeah.
Yeah.
And like you're constantly being recorded, even in your own house. There was like one spot on the windowsill of the main character's apartment. I don't know how I don't remember how he figured it out, but he knew like if he sat there specifically, he couldn't be recorded. It was a blind spot from being recorded, like video wise or like audio wise. And so he would sit there most of the day when he wasn't working.
And that's just the natural order of things.
This is how it is.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the kind of place where it's like, yeah, we've always been at war with this place. Now, what do you mean? Have you checked the records? I'm pretty sure they can just be like, yeah, Big Brother's always been in charge, and everybody's always been under the thumb of Big Brother.
Yeah, and that's what with like doublespeak or newspeak within the book is like words will have different meanings depending on what context they're being used for, and even like within like and all that context is dependent on is just whoever's saying it, like what they determine is the context of the situation, and then also like with which one are we talking about? Social hierarchy.
Yeah.
And with like the re-education ministries and stuff like that, like that's obviously a form of control, and the people like there is definitely like that would also be probably count more towards the suppression of the opposition, but like they would be connected because like the people re-educating you are going to have like control and power over you.
Mm-hmm.
Like dissent is very looked upon negatively.
Yeah. I'm just more so hooked up on the natural side of things. Like, once again with Starship Troopers, they're like, well, sometimes you just got the juice and sometimes you don't. It's whenever it comes to being a soldier. Like, sometimes that's just how you are. It's very central to who you are as a person. Whereas here, that doesn't really seem to be as much of the case with 1984. It's like, you aren't just, like, naturally below someone else. Like, structurally, they have definitely made it to where Big Brother's in charge of everyone else.
Yeah.
But I don't remember they're just like, this is just how the natural world operates.
Well, they're not taught otherwise. They're like, there's not an opportunity to learn about what it's like to not be watched by Big Brother. So, like, someone is controlling it, like, behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that regard, it's kind of like the machine stops. Like, because you only really know what the main character knows.
Yes.
And it just follows that one individual. And so it doesn't get into anything really like that, but you can infer, like, not, like, either having the juice or not having the juice. Like, that's not part of the equation. Like, just, you're going to have to fall in line and just let us be in charge.
All right.
Or we'll make you.
Okay.
With the Ministry of Re-Education. Strong regimentation of society and the economy. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very much so.
A lot of these cross over with the other ones.
Yeah, they can at times.
In this one, in the instance of 1984, I would say yes. A lot of them all cross over with each other because it really seemed like Big Brother is like the real big like antagonist of the story, and just like the idea of like it like the main character is seen through like the facade of what it is and wishing it was different, whereas like his brief love interest in the movie or in the book in the story, she doesn't really see it that way.
You're right.
It's just like this is just like this is what reality is. Like what do you mean? So it's like the government not watching them is such a foreign concept. She can't even comprehend of it not even happening.
Yeah, I definitely say that's a society that is very much in its place, very much structured.
I don't remember how it ends, though.
I think it just ends with, like, Winston being re-educated and just going back to society being like, all right, guess I won't do that again.
Does he get re-educated? I can't remember if he does or if he just says,
yes,
like, if he just gets depressed about it and is like, fuck it, I'll fall in line then.
Well, maybe it was that as well. It could have been a bit of side A, bit of side B. You never know. I just remember the big scene of him finally breaking down and being like, "Do it to," I forget I forget the love interest name. Do it to her. Do it to her. I just remember that being,
Oh yeah, he does sell. Kind of sells her out, doesn't he?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember her name either. I also confuse like that story with the movie Clonus, the Parts Horror, for some reason.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so this was. Do you know the movie The Island, the Michael Bay movie with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, and it's like they're clones in a colony
Yes.
that are only made for organ donation for their original versions of themselves.
Yep.
So Clonus is a movie from the 70s, or maybe early 80s, that is that exact same thing. Except for the only real difference is like instead of calling it the island, like when they get chosen to get their organs harvested, or winning the lottery,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever they call it, going to the island, I think. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
They call it going to America. So
Oh,
America is like their island or whatever. It was also featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a good episode.
Everybody who is currently listening, Danny from That Feeling Podcast and Cutting Edge Hero just decided to walk in because we are recording in his basement studio, and he has pulled up Clonus for us to see. Coolio.
Yeah, and it had the
Hi, everybody.
it had the second Dick from Bewitched in it as well.
The second Dick.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was Dick York and Dick Sargent,
Gotcha.
and Sargent replaced York halfway through the series.
Coolio.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But I confuse those two a lot because it's a lot of the same things. Because it's like the main character of Clonus he's like seen through the facade. He gets a love interest who gets like re-educated, and what that means is literally a lobotomy.
Oh.
And so I think he just kind of gives up too and just decides to fall in line.
I'm not letting that happen to me. I'll just fall in line and wait for my organs to eventually be harvested.
Yeah, he's upset with it too.
But yeah, was there anything more for 1984?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, usually when I bring up the Clonus horror movie, it's usually when I'm done with that subject.
Clonus is your period, huh?
Yep.
All right. Moving on to something I feel as though we will both have a lot to say about.
Uh-huh.
The Brotherhood of Steel from Fallout.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know, and you're listening to a podcast named after something in Fallout, welcome. Don't know how you found this place, but good job. The Brotherhood of Steel are a faction from the Fallout franchise. They are remnants of the United States military that have become a pseudo-religious order whose whole goal is to make sure that humanity does not reclaim the more dangerous technologies to be widely spread, and that the only people that can responsibly handle these dangerous technologies, funnily enough, are them. But yeah, they fashion themselves as knights, paladins, and scribes, and they go after any technology they think is too dangerous or even just too advanced.
So I don't know exactly how in the first, second, or in the Brotherhood of Steel games to relate it to fascism, because I never played those three. Even though Brotherhood of Steel I don't believe is considered canon.
I don't think so.
I mean, Interplay made it anyway, so I don't see why not. But in New Vegas, yeah, it would definitely be very fascist.
Yes, very much so. Some basic similarities between all the different chapters in all different games is that there is an elder who is in charge of the entire chapter that they are stationed to. The amount of power they wield tends to vary from game. Sometimes they are in total control. Other times there is the chains that bind, meaning that they can only give orders to their subordinates, and then their subordinates can only give orders to their subordinates, so on and so forth. And sometimes it's just like more of a council sort of thing, being like, hey, I'm the head of this, but like there's still like these leaders that still debate and give recommendations and everything.
Yeah, well, there's different chapters, and they're all kind of independent of one another. There used to be the Outcasts, which I think by 4 they're they got it reabsorbed back into at least the East Coast chapter.
Yes.
In Fallout 3, I would say, what's his name? Lyons runs it as a pretty democratic organization, or at least he's like not just like such a greedy bastard as like Maxon or I don't know whoever was the New Vegas guy. I don't remember.
I think it was McNamara.
Oh yeah, I think he could have been one of them, depending on the playthrough of the story. I usually just bombed the bunker.
Most people do.
Yeah, it's just easier to deal with.
You need to do that for 3 out of the 4 endings anyway, so.
Oh really?
Or 2 out of the 4 endings.
Yeah, I just usually just killed them all, and I never fell in love with that Brotherhood follower as much as everyone else did.
You did? You weren't a big fan of Veronica?
I mean, no.
I
Not
always
really.
liked Veronica. But yeah, I was always the kind of person that was like, oh yeah, if I'm going to be using guns, nice to have somebody who does a lot of melee damage.
So yeah, I just usually killed them all anyway, and just told Caesar that I killed them all. They wouldn't listen to reason.
Yeah,
Because I also sided with Caesar's Legion.
Fair enough. You never... Were you always more of a kill them all the members individually, or were you more of a bomb the entire bunker and get out of there fast kind of person?
I killed them all individually because I probably didn't realize at the time that if there was just like a big bomb that you could set off. Up until like after I'd already killed them all.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, dictatorial leader, it kind of varies. I put it more or less as a no because the chain of command tends to pop up more often than not. Of you have to go through the chain. You can't. The elder can't order around a basic scribe. The elder has to give their subordinate order. Their subordinate has to go down, on and on, until that scribe can get an order.
Well, there's certainly a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Because it's a military. But that really seems the only aspect of their culture. It's either military or not.
It's either military or religious military, as we saw on the show.
Yeah, and I think that was just a thing specific to that particular group.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like they just saw that somewhere and they thought it was cool. And so they just started using it. And just like that airship, like in 4, someone saw a picture of a blimp somewhere and was like, man, that's cool. And so they built one.
Centralized autocracy. Yes, there is a lot of power in the elders and the paladins and the head scribes and so on and so forth.
Within the chapter, yeah.
Yes.
But like how well along does the West and East Coast chapters like get along with each other?
They broke off communications a long time ago.
And then there's the Midwest chapter.
Yes.
From
Tactics.
Which one was in the Brotherhood of Steel? Was that not the Midwest?
That might have been also the Midwest.
Because that was Chicago, right?
Yes.
Or not?
You're asking me about Brotherhood of Steel, a game I have never played, only watched a couple of playthroughs through, and most of the time they were joking playthroughs of like, this is the most painful thing I've ever played. I hate this. Why am I doing this to myself?
All right, I guess that's a fair answer. I think it was also the Midwest. I totally forgot about Tactics. I wasn't even counting that earlier when I said that.
Yeah, I think Tactics is what is known as like second degree canon, which basically means anything they say that does not like go against anything the main games have said. It's canon.
All right, that sounds cool.
Yeah. But yeah,
I mean, people are way too hard on what's canon and what's not anyway.
Yeah, well. But anyway, yeah.
It's all pretend.
Within the chapters themselves, I would say there is a lot of centralized authority. Like, whether or not the chapters are interacting with each other well, that's a different thing, but they tend to try to strike out on their own a lot. So we should probably judge them as their own individual entities.
Yes. Well, in the show, the elder that was in charge of that one, he was already in charge, and he wanted to start a new one. Like, he wanted to remake the Brotherhood again, but it's like, he was already in charge. What would he have done?
I think he was trying to go for more like we need to, like, come in, be more militaristic, be more, like, assertive with what we're doing. Like, right now we can scare people, but I want to instead just, like, remove them completely with the power we get.
Oh, is that...
I think that's
Did they
what he
not
was going
already
for.
want to do that?
I think they were still being a little bit like isolationist.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was getting
Conquest.
at least. Yeah, he's more for conquest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give Brotherhood a point in the centralized autocracy.
Yeah, I would say that would apply.
Yep. Militarism, in my notes, I just wrote yes.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, it's hard to debate this. The most you can possibly say is in 3, they work with civilians more that aren't part of their organization. But even then, it's still, they are the military might helping these civilian operations.
Yeah. I mean, a scribe, I guess. You could just say, like, that's a scientist.
That's a scientist that's still...
But that's like saying, like, well, I'm just a cook. But if you're a cook on, like, a military base, well, you're probably in the military.
Yeah. You're still part of the organization. Like, they still need these basic functions.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Forcible suppression of opposition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that because, I mean, they're always fighting somebody in the games.
But more than that, like, if you do not go along with the things in their order, like, if you are not, like, a head scribe saying, yeah, I want to do things differently, or, yeah, I don't think this is right, depending on the organization, once again, they may kick you out. Like, I know with the one in New Vegas, like, I think if Veronica causes too much trouble, they're like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave.
She does get banished, and in the Dead Money expansion, I think it was the Dead Money one, you find her ex-girlfriend who was banished previously. I think because they were gay, right?
No, I think she got separated because Father Elijah wanted to, like, isolate Veronica more, because he was like, she's like my pupil, and I want to have more control over her, because Father Elijah's insane.
Yes.
But, like, no, it wasn't because they were gay. I think it was just straight up,
I assumed it was because they were gay, because they also wouldn't let new people join, and they were, I mean, obviously, like, not getting an influx of, like, people to have babies.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Veronica's...
Historically, like, 2 of the same sex people aren't going to make a baby.
Yeah. I mean, the Brotherhood sounds like they're pragmatic enough where they're like, hey, if one of you still agrees to, like, have a kid via other methods, we're fine with it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They seem like the organization that's pragmatic enough for that.
That doesn't seem dystopian at all.
No, not at all.
As long as she's still, like, a baby factory.
But yeah, I think still putting a point for, like, forcible suppression of opposition. They do banish people for some chapters. Other chapters, it's like, it just sort of depends.
Yeah, well, by 4, it seems to not depend anymore, because it seems like Lyons from the Capital Wasteland, it's typically viewed as he was wrong to do Project Purity.
Yeah, he was wrong for helping the regular people living in the wasteland. He should have been like the military might the Brotherhood always was.
And I believe that was the division of the outcasts in the first place anyway.
Yep. They're like, Lyons has gone soft.
And by the time 4 happens, you don't really hear... They seem to not have that sentiment anymore. Except for that one guy that you can recruit as a merchant, the scribe. I think he's just called the scribe.
Oh, all right.
There's a random Brotherhood of Steel scribe wandering around, and you can recruit him as like one of the level 4 merchants because he left the Brotherhood because he doesn't like Maxon.
Yeah. All right. Belief in a natural social hierarchy. Very much so. I have written here that pure humans are the only acceptable form of sapient life to the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Ghouls are very much looked down upon. Super mutants are always an enemy. Even like super mutants that have retained their intelligence and sentience and everything, they're still like very much against any other form of human life or any other form of humanity that is not like a pure human. For the most part, like minor mutation is something that you just can't fight against in the wasteland. But like for sure, pure human is like the only form of life they really accept in the Brotherhood.
Well, in 4, they like that doctor asked you if you've ever had sex with anything that you would consider non-human. And I feel like that question will tell you anything it will give you any answer you're looking for in their regards to their social hierarchy.
Yeah. It's also just open-ended enough to be like, if you just say yes, we'll believe you and just accept you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there is a terminal entry where you can find someone who did have sex with a ghoul and is getting radiation treatments. Although I would consider ghouls human, though. I've always thought that was mean.
Yeah, I consider
They're
ghouls.
just,
I consider ghouls human, but like the Brotherhood doesn't always.
No, yeah, never at all.
Yeah.
Super mutants, I could see the argument that they're not human anymore, but I don't know. Not to be insensitive, but I've seen pictures of real life burn victims that were way uglier than ghouls in the video games.
I mean,
I wouldn't ever say like, well, they're not human anymore.
yeah, they've gone through like a transformation of some kind, but like they're still sentient people. They're still people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely.
And like it's just very much of like this whole excluding entire groups of people based off of something they really can't control. It's very much like falls in line of a natural social hierarchy. These people are naturally less than us.
Yeah. It's very racist in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
That might be more of a subtextual thing, though, and not necessarily just an outright metaphor.
Yeah, but moving on. Subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. They really do think that their mission is the highest goal of any other, constantly suppressing technologies. In 3, they do help make the purifier, but by 4, like you said, they have completely lost that sentiment. And they're very much just like, oh yeah, we are doing what is best for all of humanity by hoarding this technology.
Yeah, and then they don't do anything with it.
Pretty much, yeah. They get on their big blimp. they fly over everybody. They say, "Be not afraid."
Yeah, well, not in my ending.
Yeah. But yeah, they expect other people to put away their individual interests of using technologies that they deem dangerous to help themselves or others, and give it up to them, either willingly or at the end of a laser rifle.
Yeah, and, well, if you're something like I guess like a knight or a paladin, I mean, that's pretty much going to be what your life is. Although if you're like a scribe or, what was the other things that they have? Scribes and what other caste?
I think it's just scribes and paladins mostly.
Oh, well, if you're a scribe, you could probably, if you can justify whatever interest that you're pursuing and explain it in a way that would benefit the Brotherhood of Steel, you could probably get away with what you're doing.
Yeah. But still, your interests have to be in some way a benefit to the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, you could just lie.
I mean, people do. I'm pretty sure we've seen that in the games.
Oh yeah, like on the Predwin, like that woman, like that one scientist was studying Nernroot. And it's like, well, how is this going to be beneficial?
I mean, you don't know what the Brotherhood can do with a few invisibility potions.
But they already have those. Like, stealth boys are already a thing. And also, like, it's not even the most, like, useful alchemy ingredient in the Elder Scrolls series. So she was probably just doing that for her own interests.
Right.
Under the guise of it being for the Brotherhood.
And last point. Strong regimentation of society and the economy. Everybody falls into their ranks, either as a scribe, or the various ranks of knighthood, or being under the elder.
Yeah. They seem to not control the economy that much, because they still use caps, and also, even as a soldier, you still have to buy your own weaponry.
Yeah, but they also still exploit the local populace for their resources as well. I don't know if you can really call that a control of the economy.
Well, stealing.
Yeah. But yeah, like...
I mean, yeah, you could. There's an argument there to some degree. Like, it is, because when you do those missions in the game to essentially ask for tribute from your own settlements that you've already built up, they're not gonna, like, they can't stop you.
They expect the denizens to bend the knee in Fallout 4.
Oh, yeah.
That they are someone who should be paying you for protection money, essentially.
Yeah, which is also an interesting point because Dan specifically says that they're not a mercenary group; they're a formal military. But what you just described is very. It sounds like a mercenary group.
I mean, at least to their credit, they do blast out the super mutants hiding in the burnt out buildings next door, so.
Yeah, they do. They weren't bothering anybody though.
Eh. I don't know, those giant meat bags filled with people might say otherwise, but.
Yeah, but they could. I mean, I don't know. They could have been bad people. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the wasteland is filled with all types, you never really know.
Well, and they also only do that. They don't even give them a chance. They just assume that they're bad and tell you to go in there and eradicate them. And like gameplay wise, like yeah, they're hostile, of
Yeah.
course, but that's just for it's a video game.
Who wouldn't be hostile to you if you came into their house holding a gun?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I'm fully decked out in power armor. I have a scary shark face painted on my torso. I'd be scared too.
Where'd you get the shark face decal?
Oh, if you it's from one of the like hot rod magazines. Like that's where you get like the flames decals. That's where you get like all the different paint jobs for your power armor.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know shark. Oh, is it the green shark with like the jagged teeth?
Yeah, it's like the
You
two
see
eyes
on
and the
like missiles and stuff like that.
Yep,
yeah,
it's that.
okay. Yeah, okay, I know. I was thinking of like a Jaws shark.
I mean, that would be good too.
So I don't know. I don't wear power armor, so
But okay, focusing down the list for the Brotherhood of Steel. Dictatorial leader, kind of depends. I would put that in like the maybe pile.
yeah,
Centralized autocracy, very much so. It does need to flow down, but very much all power centralized in like the Elder and head scribe, head paladin, so on and so forth.
yeah. I would say it would still depend on each individual chapter, but overall, that's probably correct.
Yeah.
Like some chapters might have means of removing an elder, or well, yeah, the New Vegas one does because that's part of. You can get rid of McNamara, I think.
Yeah, but once again, that's from going gets like the chains that bind. You're going down the chain of command and everything.
Yeah, it's not like a common occurrence.
Militarism. Yeah, obviously they are a military. They are a military force. Forcible suppression of opposition. Again, it kind of depends on the chapter.
Yeah, overall, yes.
Yeah, but for the most part, I would say so. It's either a get in line or leave type of situation.
Yeah, like Elder Alliance and his Brotherhood would be the only one that I could say that would be like that would be the exception that proves the rule.
And if you are like one of the denizens of the wasteland, that if you don't have something they want, they don't care what you have to say. If you do have something they want and you don't want to give it, they'll just blow you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll take it regardless.
Belief in natural social hierarchy. All non-humans are bad, no matter how sentient or benevolent they are. It doesn't matter who they are. If they're not like mostly unmutated humans, they're just not real forms of life to them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, they definitely tick that box.
Subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. Very much so. They believe like what they're doing is what is best for humanity, and if you're with it, you've got to be with it 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely greater good mentality, and with a lot of individual sacrifice for a shared common goal. Or that's what they preach. Application of it, questionable.
Yeah. Strong regimentation of society and the economy. They expect everybody to fall in line, denizens to bend the knee and give them what they want, and for all the people to fill in their ranks as needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, I guess for all this, I do want to put just a slight little asterisk, because the Brotherhood of Steel is more of just a military power than, like, a society, you know?
Yeah, but that is their society. Like, it's not like they will have, like, a town of, like, a Brotherhood of Steel civilians or anything like that. That's just the way they live.
Yeah.
Again, I would say the Lions Brotherhood, that would be another exception that would prove that rule as well, since Project Purity was more of a
Civilian-led project with Brotherhood of Steel backing.
Yeah, with a benefit for everyone involved, depending on how you did the ending. I think it's generally understood that you did the good ending in 3, So, like, you just clean the water and you don't poison it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't see any, what is it, Aqua Cura, if you put the modified FEV in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see any Aqua Cura in Fallout 4, even though something like that surely would have traveled by then.
Yeah. I don't know. Boston's far away from D.C.
Yeah, but like the Brotherhood are coming from DC. They had to have brought like some of the water they had to bring with them must have been from Project Purity. It's the biggest water purification project in the wasteland.
Yeah. I'm trying. Yeah, I guess you really don't see that. It seems like there would at least be like a bottle of it as like a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
But nothing comes to mind.
At least a mention of it if it was.
They do talk about it, though. There are characters that talk about it.
Yeah. All right. That's all the pieces of media I brought with me today. What about you, Billy? Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think that's it.
Okay. So we've gone over quite a few different things today. And overall, you'll notice that, like, not all of these ticked all 7 boxes for the characteristics of fascism. Even though you, Billy, would look at it, I would look at it, and we'd both say, yeah, this seems pretty fascistic.
Yeah.
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 And that's just because a lot of these are what we are given from the author or creator to see of this world. We are not given all the information about everything that is made, how everything functions, and because of that, it will not tick all these boxes. Just like how in real life, living day-to-day life, you will not necessarily see everything that happens in the society around you. You will not necessarily see, oh yeah, there's for sure a ton of militarism going on, or oh yeah, there is clear forcible suppression of opposition, or oh yeah, they are making society more and more regimented and are controlling the economy more and more. You may not necessarily note all these things because you just don't have access to the full picture for whatever reason. Either that information is being kept from you, or you just do not have the time to stop and look at these things because life is busy and tiring. But that does not mean these things stop being fascistic because they tick off, because they don't fit the mold perfectly.
Ultimately, it's up to the society to recognize signs of stuff like that happening. That was one of the lessons learned from Animal Farm.
It will not all come at once. It will not all be obvious in the moment. Sure enough, it all becomes clear in hindsight. Anything you'd like to add, Billy?
I'm good.
All right.
I mean, we can always bring back the guillotine.
That sounds like a great place to leave off. Thank you all for listening. This has been Date Night at Power Noodles. I'm Landon.
I'm Billy.
We'll see you all next time.